Good morning, Shark Squadron. Welcome back to another Viper tutorial. Today we'll be learning how to land the aircraft in low visibility conditions, but this only applies to all visibility. Apart from obviously like clouds, I guess. But as long as you can see the runway, this tutorial will apply. We're landing at that airfield over there. We're going to come in, do a little circuit, then land. I've lowered the brightness because it is obviously quite dark outside the cockpit today. Almost night time. In fact, it's you can see the sun setting over there. Yep, the current time is 14:21. We'll set the radar, we'll set the altimeter to radar altimeter with that switch there. And we'll line ourselves up on the final recovery heading.
Altitude. Altitude.
Just the idle currently, we have 5,000 pounds of fuel, so as well as the 2 bags and 4 mm, we are relatively heavy. That shouldn't be an issue. This runway is plenty long enough for us today. Now, like in pretty much every modern, or even slightly older NATO jet, you have AOA donut here, so you want to have that when you're on final. You want to have the runway, and be on AOA, and that's the same one we get down to final. So at 300 knots, we can probably start to kind of maintain this speed to the break. Now, of course, this airfield does prove a unique challenge. It's in a little valley. We need to be careful of the mountains flanking on the side of the runway. Now, gear speed for the Viper is about 250 knots. That is the max rotation speed of the wheels. Any higher than that, you do risk damaging the wheels, although I have heard ED are quite lax about modelling that. So who knows, maybe we could deploy the wheels at like 400 knots, you'd be fine. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm just going to go with what the manual says. We're going to do a left-hand turn now, going back out to the coast. Once again, keep in mind of the mountain range around us. Okay, gear and flaps can come down. Like I said in the takeoff tutorial, the flaps by default are in fact slaved to your landing gear, so if the gear comes down, the flaps come down. So you know, unless you manually set the flaps to not do that, which I don't know why you do that. I guess there's an emergency maybe, or there's damage. But I've never had that happen. If I sleep the flaps in auto, comes down when the gear comes down, all good. Now you see on the HUD we see some new kind of attitude indicators every 2.5 units. So we want to put the end of the runway at the 2.5 at 2.5 kind of marker there, and have about be about 3 degrees pitch up. Let's deploy the air brakes a little bit. That should be enough. The official manual states you need about half deployment of the air brake. Don't deploy them fully because that could risk a tail strike. But again, never had that happen, so do that what you will. Okay, coming into final here. But at the last second we want to be flaring like in the Phantom because again, this plane does have much more delicate landing gear than the jets have been doing tutorials on previously, so we need to be careful of that. Getting a little bit high, but that shouldn't be a problem, that should start picking up. Okay, we're on speed. And we're down. Let's keep the nose pitched up to do what's called aero braking, so we're using the air resistance of the aircraft to slow the plane down and deploy the air brakes fully. Also use a little bit of toe brake, not too much because they could overheat. Just keep tapping the toe brakes, like I am now. You can see the nose pitching up and down. And let's turn the nose wheel steering and taxi off of the runway. And there we go, viewers. That is how you land an F-16C Block 50 in DCS World. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This video was very informative. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Shark31 signing off.